Alright, another episode of junk I find in my storage. Left for Dead, 30, rough. That's pretty much everything I have. I don't have anything, well, I shouldn't say I don't have anything nice. I've few couple little things, but most of my stuff is dirty and junk and awful. Like this IBM here. Don't mind this weird gateway monitor over here. That's the only thing I had that I know works and I could find quick for testing. Anyways, there's two IBM boards here. One's in the case, and I had another one that I pulled out of storage that should go with this thing. It is pretty rough, dirty. Probably clean it pretty good. The actual power supply, I believe, that goes with it. I just threw all this in there quick because it was easier to carry everything. Let's just set this off to the side first. Get an inside shot here. Random microphone that was stuck in there. Cables. Lighting's not that great in my garage at all, sorry. Let's see here. Zoom in a bit here. Let's see if my flashlight will help or not. There we go. Now you can see how it was stored with this wide open. All the dirt and who knows what in this thing. Missing the CPU. This board probably, it may or may not work, but I don't have much hopes for it. The other board is a good possibility that one will work. Who knows? Maybe they'll both work. Guess we'll find out. I'm gonna have to take and disassemble this one and actually clean it because that's awful. This whole thing's a mess. So I don't think I'll be testing it in the case until I've cleaned it. Made sure there isn't anything shorting out or whatever in there, because it is pretty dirty inside this one. Dirtier than most because it didn't have the case on it. I don't have the. Unfortunately, I tried to find it, but I do not have the slide over cover that belongs on this thing. These things, I don't know. I did use these at one point. They're okay. They were never great performance. They're just awesome little office PC. I guess you could upgrade them pretty good, and they would have worked alright. I never liked these cases because the power supply is dumb. It sits on the side here, and it's its own type of power supply. It's not a normal ATX type power supply. It would be up here normally. So I don't have a whole lot of love for them, but I do like the look of the IBM. The front office case here, small business series, Pentium 3, designed for Windows 98. You know, it's that era. But it has a lot of IBM-y kind of things going on here. The sides, the lines. CD drive sure yellowed compared to the front of the case. The front is in really nice shape for what it is. Not too thrown around, surprisingly. I think a lot of it will clean up with magic eraser, probably. Got a little tag. I'll try to save that stuff. And yeah. So let's. I'm gonna put the other board on the bench here. Maybe we'll play with that or something, or maybe I should just clean them up and then let them dry and do it another day here. What do you think? I don't know, we're daring. I like to see if it works before cleaning it up. Let's get the other board on the bench. Alright, here's that other IBM board, and it's just about as dirty, I guess. I probably will have to clean these up. You know, I actually have in my storage another IBM processor that has this sticker on it and everything. So I could probably get two boards going, maybe. This one's, you know, left in the crappy storage. guy should have done something about, but hasn't until now. So it's, I think I need to clean these boards before even trying to power them up. It is just so gross. There's like stains and, you know, I just don't want to wreck anything powering it up like all dirty. I know could probably try, but I mean there's just so much filth in the in the slots, and to try to get the memory to work. I think I'm going to remove the processor carefully. Really nice Pentium 3 and a Pentium logo there. I always kind of like the, let's see if I can get the camera to focus on that. Pentium 3, the reflective sticker is pretty cool. It's got kind of like a layout of what a chip would look like on under a microscope. Yeah, they're neat stickers. Just kind of cool anyway. Looks better in person than the camera, I guess. But I'm just looking through the little display on the camera, so who knows? Maybe it'll look better on the actual editing station. We'll see. Backside's really clean, of course, because there we go. Got some Made in Mexico pride here. There we go. Nice little sticker. I have not done anything. This is stock bodges, maybe? Kind of cool. Tiny little capacitors just tacked into place there. Some revisions, maybe. Something you don't see much of. Another random thought about IBM computers is, kind of reminds me of like a Macintosh. They actually had real sound and speakers in the computer box, because I suppose, you know, office setup, you don't want your speakers taking up space on the table, so not many people are going to be like listening to music on these computers back then, or watching YouTube videos or whatever, so it just needed to, you know, make notification sounds like dunks and beeps, I suppose, whatever. You could, it was fairly loud. I remember them being decent sounding. Alrighty, and then here's the power supply, I guess. It's supposed to be a fan here, I believe. It's rusty, crusty, and dirty. I'm pretty sure this is the power supply that belongs in there. A 200 watt, nothing special, made in China. Just standard little power brick, really. I can't remember if IBM boards use different wiring. I know there's couple different plugins, but anyways, maybe that's Dell. I can't remember. I know I've ran across a few of my stuff that's different. I had this board wired into a non-IBM, so that's why there's a bunch of wires. I did this so long ago. I was probably this tall, messing with the computers. Put this in some other random case because I didn't like the small IBM case or something. I don't remember. Long ago. Too long to remember. I guess we're not going to hook up the gateway and power it up. I just don't feel good enough about how messy and dirty they are and how rough everything is. I'd also have to find a video card quick, which I have. But I don't really want to plug that into that kind of mess. So we're going to disassemble these off camera, of course. I just don't really feel like recording that much. Get them cleaned up and try again. Alright, this board's pretty dirty. This was in the case, so this is like number 2 here. We'll just call this number 2. Same thing, same little bodges, same little sticker. Made in Mexico, all that good stuff. Same board, just so everybody can say. Did not have the CPU, but I think I have the actual one that went with it in my shop, so I'll have to grab that. Pretty dirty in there. This one doesn't have as much like stains on it like the other ones. Maybe this one's in better shape. I don't know. We'll have to clean them and find out. So it actually has the back plane for this case, so that's good. We'll remove this stuff before I clean it. But man, I wish YouTube had a smell option, because this is like, I don't know, cat must, mice smell, all the good things. So yeah, it smells wonderful. It's dirty, it's gross. I probably should have been gloving it, but anyway, I don't mind a little dirt. So we'll get these cleaned up and return back to testing them, I think. Alright, let's this is the board that was in that IBM case. It's all cleaned up, kind of set up here. Don't know what it's going to do, if it'll work at all. We'll see. I probably have the wrong stick of memory. Unknown. Power supply, I don't know if it's any good. Who knows? Let's see if it goes up in smoke. Well, initialized. I don't know which wires are what to turn it on. Hey, there we go. That was easy. No beep, goes, no post, nothing. Some heat, that's good. Got the speaker hooked up. I don't know, do these have reset? I don't think so. Well, that's power supply's good. Looks like all the power rails, I think. Well, flaky connections in the steel, that doesn't help. Okay, some deoxo on those, I think. Alright, getting something out of it. Well, not what I want, but it's at least something. Way too much deoxit. I need a small bottle. Small little squirt bottle or something. I did clean the boards pretty good, but there could always be some oxidization on the pins. Who knows? I may just be wasting time in life. Flex down a little bit. Again, probably the wrong sticker RAM. I might have to dig around. Try a different thing. Second attempt. No idea which wires it was. If it was any of them that'll do it or what. But no post. Don't know if there's an issue on the board or CPU's not making contact. Wrong RAM. I'll have to look up. I have no idea which type. Currently, I think it's a PC 100 maybe or something like that I got stuck in there. So that may not be right. Let me go grab another stick of RAM. Coder. So let's try a different stick of RAM quick. I don't know if it likes that one. Different speed. I only have one of these sticks. Alright, plug it back in. Turn it back on. Are we going to get any luck? Yeah, the right wires marked here. There we go. I think it's going to post. Oh yeah, there we go. Sweet. We have a living IBM board. Find the right memory, that helps a lot. Let's see, it's adjustment, because it's a manual adjusting monitor. There we go. IBMs take forever to count RAM and post. I don't have a keyboard or nothing either. But there we go. I got one working board. Sweet. Of course, I only have one stick of RAM. Go figure. System security, administrator password. Really? Okay. Well, it's kind of washed out. There we go. Error, setup errors, configuration because there's no battery, system security, password required. It's an interesting vault code. I don't have a keyboard. I will have to get a keyboard. So, alright. Testing complete on one board after a good cleaning, and this one was in that case, dirty. Actually looks better than the other one I found, so I'm happy that this one works. Okay, get a keyboard, do some more testing. Alright, there we go, booting into, with a keyboard this time hopefully. I think it's plugged in to the right port. See if it'll do anything. I don't think so. Maybe I don't have it plugged in the right port. We'll see here quick. It is nice that it consistently will turn on. That's helpful. Well, is it going to let me move? It is this time. Alright. Continue. I guess automatically continue with corrupted values. That's what happens when it loses the battery, I guess. System summary. What do we got for a processor, I wonder? Pentium 3, 600. Nice. Nothing too crazy. Just barely Pentium 3. Just about 128 stick. Yeah. Cool. Anything else to show? I don't know. I never liked IBM's BIOS. They're annoying. All that good stuff. Date and time don't matter right now because I don't have a battery. Let's how do I do it on this one? 2025. Let's call that good. Just as long as it's sort of changed. Save settings. And of course it's not going to boot into anything because I don't have a drive or anything hooked up to it. But it is nice that it's working. 32 meg RAM NVIDIA card seems a little bit overkill for an older IBM like this. 8 megs would be more normal, I think. 6 or 8 from the time period. Being an office PC, it probably was a 4 meg or some super simple video card. Yeah, no operating system because I don't have anything. Well, but and I don't have floppy, nothing hooked up, I guess. Do these? No, these do not have. This is too new for IBM Basic. Well, let's move on to the next board and see if that one lives. This is board number 2, I call it, number 2. That was in the computer case. This other one I found in a, I think I might have had it in a Dell case or something, I don't know. Whatever. But I took it out of that because the case was in bad, horrible shape anyway. Okay, number 1 board, I guess, number 1. Switch and try the other one. Probably should have done that one first, huh? Anyway. Alright, here is number 1 hooked up. Only difference you can tell between the two is this one still has the backing plane. And, let's see, here's number 2. That's number 1 board. Just for proof anyways. Let's see if this one will post, turn on, do anything. I'm sure it will. I gotta plug this in. That would help. Okay. shorting. 3, 2, 1. Is it going to do anything? And it's dead, like the other one was. And it shut off. Why did it shut off? It's probably my fault. Wires everywhere. I think I shorted something. Whoops. I hope I didn't wreck it. You might have luck, I always do something. Reset things. Okay, we're back to that. Good. Didn't wreck anything. But nothing, so I will have to reseat. We have fan voltage. Oh, there we go. Okay. Didn't have it plugged in all the way. Okay, well, let's do the usual. Keep reseating memory and the CPU again. Probably unplug things when I do that. Don't want to short and fry everything. That's my luck. I know the CPU is good. Come to life, baby, come to life. What was that about? I'm really good at killing vintage stuff, I swear. Or maybe this one's just not gonna work. The ice and both worked. Okay. Huh. Well, I don't think that one's gonna work. Or I killed it. Killed something. Not sure what's going on here. Well, should I switch back to the other board and see if I killed the processor or what's going on? There was some life out of it anyway. Doing the wrong wires. What do I? Because I had them twisted together, now I don't. Alright, well, that's disappointing. That's how it goes. Let me go grab that other processor out of storage here quick, and I'll be right back. Alright, let's try this other processor quick. I don't have any hopes for it, but you never know. Yep, just on for a second. Maybe something shorted out or what. The power supply quits. Yeah, I must have did something. Okay, you know, I don't have time to dig into it. Probably just gonna have to set this board as a parts board. I'm not going to get anywhere, unfortunately. Yep. It's probably my fault. Wires ended up touching things that they shouldn't, I'm sure. That's how it goes when you're bench testing. If you're not careful. If you're not paying attention, that's what happens. So, well, I'm going to move back to the other board since that one was working and try this other processor in it that I have laying around. Make sure that one is working at least. and then I'll have to clean the case up and reassemble it with the working board, so that I have a working IBM anyways, I guess. So that'll be something cool. Alright, back to, I think, board number 2, right? Pretty sure that's board number 2. This is board 1 that I killed. Go figure. It's unfortunate. This one should work. Unless I screwed something up on the power supply or whatever. I don't think so. And it's not doing anything because you move things around. That's the joy of these things. Corrosions and things, and you just gotta reseat things enough until it works. Doesn't keep codes, doesn't do anything. This is the other processor too. I don't know if this one's any good. That's why I wanted to try it. For sure I got one that works anyway. Okay, second go. Will it post? Will it do anything? And that processor is not a happy processor. Well, that's fine. I have one that works. It's good enough. Let's try putting the one that I know works back in. I had this laying around forever in my bin of parts. IBM part number of some sort. There you go. This one 600, I think, also. So it should be identical. Shouldn't be a problem. 600, basically almost the same heat sink, same everything. Same part number. Yeah, should work fine. Let's put the other one back in that I know works. Clicks in there nicely, that's for sure. Come on, baby, boot again. Well, it came to life for a split second. Probably dealing with the memory again. What it is about crusty sockets. It'd be nice if it worked again. Why? I shouldn't have took the stuff out of it. It was working. Leave it alone. It works. Should have just went and got the other processor first. Played with the other board. Hope I didn't kill the processor. What to try doing? Just keep reseating? I don't know. If it doesn't work, then what? Why does everything have to do that for me? I just wanted to work. Put it in the... Shouldn't have screwed with it after it worked. I should have just said, put it to the side and okay, I'm putting it in that one. More dioxide. That always makes everything work, right? Deox at the processor again too, who knows. Well, let's try that anyway, I guess. Why? Why does it have to be that way? Just want it to work. Just want it to work. Worked before. Should work again, right? But not in this channel. Nothing ever seems to work right. Plug it in again. Please post this time. And of course not. Why did I have to do that? Why did it have to break? Now I don't even want to make a video about this. I guess give up? I don't know. I don't know. I know it worked. You guys thought it worked. It works, and it worked no problem. Move stuff around again. There's the video card. I don't know. Alright, we got a different processor. Third one to try. Yeah, I believe this one will work. Get video. Oh, there we go. It's coming up now. Okay. Man, IBM's really got to think before they get video. So, okay. Gotta be careful when you're doing stuff with vintage stuff. That other board maybe had a fault or something, but it fried my good one that worked. And the other CPU that I had in storage did not work on that board or this board, so either that board killed that one too. You know, that's what you get with old stuff like this. This is a slower processor. I'll have to look up and see exactly, but it's a Pentium 2, not a Pentium 3. It's just what I had on the shelf at the moment that I could grab. I don't think I have any more of these Pentium 3s, so it's so funny that it says that yet doesn't ask for a password when you... No processors found. What the hell? Oh, let's zoom in here. This is interesting. No processor BIOS update found. Okay, it must be special to the IBM circuits, maybe. Who knows? I don't know anything about these. Memory error. All kinds of faults. Could be just from me screwing around with everything. Continue. Oh crap! I didn't plug the keyboard in. Really? Hold on there. This is such a janky setup. I know. This is also how you end up wrecking things, is having such an awful setup and a small area to work in. Bumping everything, walking around. This is just a horrible video. And of course, it doesn't pick up the keyboard until you reset. Unplug it. Reboot with a keyboard. Oh man, guys, I am not a very good at this. Well, mainly doing videos on my own. I think I do a worse job getting these things working if I'm doing this, trying to get things working, trying to show everyone out there the misery that I go through some days on these things. Come on, IBM. Get past the BIOS. These always take forever. I don't know why it has to take so long, but it wants to. At least this board I know works. I am not going to put this processor in that other board. Clearly, I screwed it up, or it has a bad issue. So I don't know what to do about the memory errors now. And BIOS update. Don't know what that's about. Keyboard works now. say? Oh, it's a Celeron processor I threw in there. Only at 200 though. Man, that is a downgrade compared to 600. I mean, it would function. It would run Windows 98. I really wanted to use the IBM processor though. I may have to just get another one since I know this board works. Yeah. We're not going to use that processor. I mean, good for testing right now, I guess. But it works. So save settings. Don't have a battery anyway. Exit setup. Another reboot here and see what kind of errors pop up. I forgot to set the date. So it may still say something. Maxi Gamer Cougar Video. I have no idea anything about that card, and I actually haven't even used it. It's been just a test card. Wouldn't mind trying to push it through some graphical games or something to see what it's like. This should be a pretty good card. Get boot from the network. I do not have any servers to boot from. That would be kind of cool to set up. That's one thing I've never messed with. Getting into like server computers or bigger type of operations. It still comes up with the processor BIOS update, which I'm gonna say that's just because that type of processor. And I don't know why there's a memory error now. What is that all about? And it's not going to be because of date and time. Saving. Yes, of course I do. We'll probably cut some of these out. The amount of time anyways. Cut some. Taking way too long, like always. I don't know what is it doing. It doesn't show anything on the postcard. And I don't know what it's sitting and thinking. Is there a timer? What kind of test is it running? Probably part of those memory tests and whatnot. So this is annoying. Oops, sorry. Just exit or continue. Yeah. So then it would boot. You'd have to do that every time now. Definitely wouldn't want to live with that. I need to get the right processor, I guess, if I want this IBM to work properly. And memory too. Get the right memory for it. Anyways, we're just going to call it quits because it's late. And at least I didn't kill the board. I'm really sad that this no longer functions anymore. This one was a working one. That was in that other board from that other computer, so I don't know if I somehow did something with these wires touching the power supply or what. I don't know what happened. Either that or it was bad or something. I don't know. But yeah, these definitely don't work now. Unfortunately. Yeah, I'm going to call it quits on this video for now. This didn't go the way as planned, like a lot of my videos do. I mean, it never seems to go the way I want. I was hoping both would work. Cool, I have a spare board. Awesome, that works. Maybe sell it, whatever, I don't know. But at least one works. Can I find another processor? Hopefully. Maybe, well, it doesn't have to be IBM specific, I don't think. Pentium 3 600 slot should work. Also, I should do some research to see if I can do a little bit more than the 600 because I wouldn't mind going up if it's possible to go more than 600. Clearly, it can run a 200 perfectly fine. There's these jumpers on the board. I don't know what they do. I don't have a manual for this particular computer. Apparently, it'll just try every so often. Look at that heatsink on that thing. I didn't show the processor, but I guess the Celeron. It's just a massive thing. I had to take the plastic deals out so that it would fit. I just wanted to make sure the stupid board still worked, and it does. So that's good. I don't know what happened to the other one. I'm afraid to even try. Alright, this IBM PC is kind of a mess right now. Stuff everywhere. Some junk CD players, because the other one didn't want to read that disc at all. So it's been at least a couple weeks now coming back to this mess. So that CPU works, that Celeron, but it's not what I want to use. So I ordered another Pentium 3 processor here. It actually has the right clips for the heatsink. Hopefully it can hold this thing in better together. It's uses some dumb plastic clips that pull the... It's very floppy on the die, and I'm surprised it didn't damage it in shipping. Anyway, it was wrapped pretty good. So we'll clean the pins up quick and insert it into the board. Obviously, I'll show you booting with that Celeron, make sure the thing still works because it's been a couple weeks here. And see what happens here. I'm going to try to get a computer together. Okay, it does boot with the Celeron still. I mean, as soon as I plugged things in, it turned on right away. So, anyways, the board is still working with the memory and everything. That's good to see. We're going to let it go past here. I don't have the CD players hooked up or anything yet either, so it takes forever. I will just stop here and we'll try the other processor. And, yeah, blinking cursor, it's going to go to the CMOS setup because it doesn't like that processor. And I don't know what the memory error is about either, if that's part of the processor being weird or what. But in any case, we're going to try some other stuff. Zooming on here, that big old processor right there is the Celeron. And we're going to switch it out with the other one. Alright. Okay, different processor in there. Will it boot? It is going to post. Alright. That is awesome. It likes that processor, the 550 megahertz. Let's see if it gives me an error with that. I forget what it was called already. IBM special processors or what? I don't know. I don't know what it's looking for. Of course, it takes forever to get past this point. That was actually a lot quicker than the Celeron, though. That's impressive. What is it going to give me? Error codes, or is it going to try to... Oh my goodness, that's awesome. No memory errors with that 550, and no BIOS errors with that 550 processor. Possibly has something to do with jumper settings on the board, whatever. It's not what I wanted to use anyways. It was just seeing if the stupid board still works, because I was having some serious issues. Alright, we'll move on from this point. I need to charge the camera. It is dead. And try to install a system on this board and put it back in the case. Alright, getting some success with the IBM misery thing that I've been doing here. It's installing to a 2 gigabyte SD card. Sorry about that. We're going to put Windows 98 on that SD card so I can have something reliable that I know will boot on things. Might as well do that while I'm here. But yeah, apparently this Sony janky CD-ROM drive that I have here, the missing cover, actually reads a disc. So there's that. But this is the new processor, 550, I think. Well, let's get in on that. There's the specs, and I put the right heatsink on it, and new thermal paste, so that'll be good to go for long term, hopefully now. What else did I do to this thing? That's about it. There's new batteries, so I can keep all the settings. At some point, we'll hopefully get it back in the case. I gotta clean the case yet, and that may not happen yet. Anyway, I spent like a whole hour screwing with this one, the first drive I had sitting on top of this one. Again, I wanted to have a test CD-ROM, something I know it works if I could get it. It was so gross inside, with almost like grit and soot and who knows what else. I put a note on it here a while back, I don't remember when, but I played with it once, and apparently that is where I got. But I don't know, it seemed hopeful that it would work. I cleaned and lubed everything, but the belt is still too stretched, and I don't have a small enough belt for it. So it still doesn't want to eject, so I didn't feel like dealing with it. So I was like, fine, I'll try the other one. And I should have just done that in the first place, and I wouldn't have messed with the other one. Such as it goes. I looked at this one, I didn't have any notes on it, I didn't know nothing about it. Figured it was just junk anyway. But it works. So, in any case, sorry about my ramble here. Here's the SD card adapter. You can get these online, pretty much anywhere. They're real handy, other than I can't stand the fact that you cannot select them as a secondary drive. It always is a primary. There's probably ways around that, I don't know, I haven't screwed with it. Doesn't matter. Hopefully I can put my, I think it's 40 gig, right? Yeah, 40 gig hard drive in there, I think. And yeah, that's where we're at with this project. I'll keep on going and keep updating the progress as I go. What do we got here? Just a typical install. Camera is not syncing very well. But anyways, I don't need to bore you with all this. The install's pretty fast actually on an SD card, so any case. Alright, we'll, when Windows 98 boots and stuff, I'll put it back in the case. Sadly I don't have a cover, but it'll work the way it is, I guess. So here we go. Well, it's installed off the SD now, so it's booting from that instead of the CD-ROM now. Getting somewhere with it. That's something, I guess. Got a lovely IBM mouse to go with. I have a keyboard that matches that mouse too. Actually, at one point these things were full units that, I don't know, probably got from a school surplus or something, I don't remember. It's so long ago. Anyway, but I have a keyboard mouse that matches the aesthetic of that thing. I think maybe that mouse isn't quite right. The keyboard for sure is. I'm not sure about the mouse. But at least it's IBM mouse anyway. Okay. I won't keep going here. Alright, putting in a note in this video here because I got the thing still trying to boot off that SD card. And I finally got to this screen, but it's still sitting here. It's doing things, it's working hard. The activity lights are, blinking, doing what they're supposed to do. You can kind of see that on the LEDs. Probably not on camera, but I can. This thing has some status lights too, but it's full active. Working really hard. It's just a standard 2 GB SD card, so no high-speed stuff going on there. This one was in my card. I don't think I had the right type of boot partition on it and stuff. I'm not sure. I'll have to read it and see. 128 gigabytes ridiculous for older computers anyway, so I don't really need to use that in there. But the main thing is this high speed, using good quality high speed Sorry about the focusing, because it doesn't want to focus some days. But yeah, using a good high quality fast speed SD card really makes a difference. I mean, I finally got a cursor. Holy cow. That's like 10-minute long booting practically. But I mean, it's the first time, so it's got to do a lot of things. But I know on a spinning hard drive it'd be a lot faster than that. Does my mouse move? No, of course not. Wow. It is starting your computer. Well, there we go. We'll get to the screen finally. Holy cow. Mouse doesn't work though. That's really annoying. Hate it when I have to use the keyboard. But whatever. Get past some things. Oh yeah, and I gotta put in the lovely code to make it happy. Alright, well, I can't do that one-handed. I have to pull the CD out. I have the code on the CD, so. Anyway, that's where this is at now. Slow. Gosh, I thought that was going to be faster. I'm going to go a different route than the SD card. I think that one's just going to be get set up, and I may even format it and reuse it for some other purpose, because it's too slow for actual use. I don't know, maybe I could just keep it installed and use it as a quick test boot up, but dang, it's slow. Anyway, okay. And finally, the SD is installed with Windows 98. No drivers because display settings are set to the wrong kind of color bit and whatnot. But the SD card has an installation on it. Pretty sure that took 2 hours at least. So we're not going to use that for this computer build at all. It's going to have a regular spinning hard drive. I got plenty of those. But I was experimenting just to see what a regular SD card was like, and yeah, even when it got to this screen, it's washed out, I'm sure, but the normal welcome screen for Windows 98, it stopped, like I didn't record it, of course, but it popped up and just like stopped, and then had to think, and then it finally loaded. I mean, granted, this thing, I think it's 128 megs or something like that for that one stick. It's not a lot. But it should be enough for Windows 98, really. Anyways, that was a big project for me to get to this point in life. Don't kill your back, people. That's all I can say. Anyway, what to do for right now? I'm probably got to do the whole stupid process over again and get a regular hard drive. I got my... I'll have to see if that hard drive has XP or 98 on it. I can't remember. But in any case, whatever. I'm definitely not going with that SD solution. And I don't have a smaller SD card that has high speed right now, other than that 128 gig, and I don't really want to use that for this kind of setup. We're just going to go old school and original. A different video card. I don't think I'll use this one, even though it's a pretty good video card. Anyways, I say anyways enough. And there you go. I had a challenge. I killed a couple CPUs apparently. Why? Just old computer stuff, that's why. Yeah, I need to clean the case now. It was full of dirt, and I need to take all this off of the desk here. Desk, whatever you want to call it, bench. And get that cleaned up so I can put everything back in it and be a little bit less janky setup going on here. But it's nice to have at least one working board. I'm bummed that the other one, not that I needed it, I just needed one to work so that I could make that computer work. I don't have another IBM case. That's it, so. Alrighty, there we go. Well, got some clean case, all that good stuff. Gonna put the motherboard back in and do some things. But I realized I ran into the lovely, oh crap, I don't have the right part. This is just a standard regular power supply, meant for regular computer cases. And IBM loveliness, this is not the right power supply, of course, and I wish I kind of would have looked at that ahead of time. I did not. It was just the power supply that was laying with the other board that was in another computer case that I didn't scrap out, but didn't use because it's a Dell computer case and I wanted to go original IBM everything. So I'm probably going to have to find a power supply, and that might be challenging. I don't know, I haven't looked it up yet. But in any case, I'm going to put it all together so it's a complete unit, just without the right power supply for now. Not what I was intending, but hey, it's getting somewhere. It's a lot cleaner. I scraped off a lot of the rust. It's whatever. It was in a horrible environment. Give it a break. There was so much dirt in this thing. It was so gross. The original, I call it original, CD-ROM drive, made by NEC, and I will call it what it came with because the floppy drive is also labeled NEC. 1997 on this CD-ROM drive. There's kind of a date, manufacturer date. I'm not sure if that's like 2003 or 2000, third week of 2000. I'm not sure. Not a date code person. But anyway, yeah, there we go. So I'm going to put it back in since it works. The eject mechanism could use a little love. It's slow, but it works. I read a disc with it. Didn't show that on camera, I guess. Anyway. Okay, just going to reassemble things, but I had to add it into the video, this whole conundrum of crap, power supply is not going to fit this case. So, and I do not have any of this type. I have tons of those, nothing for this case. So, pretty sure that's why I cobbed it together into another, like a Dell PC case or something, because I didn't have a power supply that worked for it. Anyway, that was long ago, so we're here now today trying to get an original IBM together. So far it's been a, I don't know, really challenging project. So, alright, another random note that'll help the community out that has ever worked on one of these. The IBM PC 300GL. To get this front cover off is a pain in the butt, but it's doable. I had no idea that this thing had a fold out thing, but I think that's kind of cool for the second drive. It's got this really nice cover with a slot, fan slot I suppose. Take the CD-ROM drive out of here first. It's because it has to be out of there for this to come off. And then, I'm not going to show it. They have this convenient little hole right here. Let's see, and probably get my flashlight out of my pocket here. Hold on. This convenient little hole that's located right here for a reason. Oh man, that's really not coming out very good on the camera. Sorry about this, I'm not very good. Can you see it in there? Maybe. Yeah, there's one right there. I'll circle it in my video. There's two of those plastic tabs, one farther up too, that you have to take a long screwdriver and pop it loose so you can get the cover off. Because there is no exterior slots here, under here or whatever to pop those tabs. You have to go in through this hole. That's how I learned how to get it off. So it was confusing the crap out of me for a while. Like, how does this stupid case come off? And then there's these clips up here, so the bottom will lift up, off, and then you can pull it out. But you have to have the CD-ROM out and stuff. So just for people, some actual reference to how to take it apart. Yeah, the case, this came out really nice. I took it off and scrubbed it, cleaned it, used some magic eraser and places that have some scuffs, and it honestly is so nice, and it's not even faded compared to that CD-ROM drive that yellowed quite a bit. Yeah, that was actually in there. I'll have to stick it out in the sun maybe. It doesn't look as yellow on camera here, but it's pretty yellow. Yeah, but well, it's probably in the video somewhere. Yeah, significantly yellow compared to the front. Alright, well, there she's getting there. I'm going to put it together, keep all the parts together, and well, we probably have to find one of these power supplies. I do not have the top, sorry about my ring there, click. I do not have the top slide-on cover. I looked all over in the junk pile and I couldn't find it, so good old zoom in IBM. And it said, yeah, small business series. That's basically all these were. They were not a gaming PC. But you spec them up a little bit, it'll do alright. Anyway, okay. Alright, this is just for temporary until I find the right stuff for it. Because power supply is just not going to fit in here and whatever. I could probably figure out how to whack it in there, but it's not right. I want it to be the right setup. In any case, CD's hooked up, stuff's hooked up. The only thing I'm not dealing with right now is the floppy because I don't need it. But it's in there. It's mounted down. Fan's just sitting on here for now because that's only temporary stuff. But the other thing I'm missing here, I'll really have to dig around and see if I can find any remnants of this stuff, but I doubt it. The hard drive bracket would be right here. I just put a screw in here to hold it for now. I just keeping everything together. That's the main goal. But it's all in there nicely now, and got the video card. If anybody wants to know, it's an ATI Rage 3D Pro, whatever. I think it's a 4 megabyte. 4 or 8, I can't remember. I wrote 8 on it. Okay. 8 megabyte ATI 3D Rage ADP video card. Not a bad little card. Basic Windows 98 gaming. That's all I care about this thing. So, actual button hooked up this time instead of just some wires. I guess you can't see it very well. Some nice lights. Still boots. I just wanted to make sure everything's still functional. Speaker works really good and loud. I had to switch that out. This guy, the coil has seized on it. I don't know from moisture or something probably, but it does not. This speaker does not move. It has failed. So change that out because I had another one, identical parts. Just wish I could find more of the case. Why does it think things have changed? I did not do anything other than unhook everything and hook it back up. Let's see, what does it think? System summary. In case anybody was curious of what I got in here now, I got a 550. It's got 512 kilobytes of cache. 128 megs right now. I kind of want to get more than that. Okay, it's freaking out about the hard drive stuff because I plugged it in differently. Why is it thinking it's probably because it's plugged. Oh, okay. See, the board isn't labeled that well, and it's really annoying because a lot of computers actually label their boards, but it doesn't say IDE 1 or IDE 2, and a lot of them usually do, and this one, for some reason, doesn't want to. So I'll swap those around. That's what it's having a fit about, I think. Yeah, it's freaking out about the IDE drive stuff. So we'll swap those quick. Alright, swap those around. We'll see in a second here if everything's right. Hey, there we go. Booting into Windows 98, no problem. Sorry about the flicker. CRT goodness.
else is working good. The only thing I haven't loaded yet is sound drivers at the internal speaker that this thing actually has. You know, well, it's this one's like this little bugger. They're actually fairly loud. The sound card has an amp, and it's able to use audio built on the computer, which is nice. So you don't always have to have a set of speakers. Anywho, let's change this quick because I never liked this dark gray. Okay. Enable the special desktop. There we go. That's a little better. Not as harsh. I think I'm just gonna probably put this video together right here. As it together a working IBM PC. This took a while. Took a lot of random parts and testing, killing a couple CPUs with the other board for some reason. Don't ask me why. I don't know what happened. I probably did something. Maybe they just cooked themselves because I didn't record that either. Or might have took a picture. I'll put it in here right now or something. Yeah, the thermal compound on those old CPUs were so baked. Crunchy, baked, you know it. So maybe they just got hot and burnt out, I don't know. But this one stays nice and cool. The fan really does work for it. But even running without a fan, it gets hot, but it's not super hot. I should get my meter, just so people know. Sometimes these are live voltage, so be really careful with power supplies and mains input. Just saying. Been there, done that too much. Alright, thanks for watching this boring, whatever video. I saved it. It was otherwise it was just basically going in trash. So, you know what? From trash to Windows 98. There you go. Thanks for watching.